Cinnamon, 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 Cinnamon Leaf ASMR, and Baldur's Gate 3. Last time we just kind of traveled back here to sell all of our tiny knickknacks because we were all constantly encumbered. We still have quite a lot of stuff and we should organize that a little bit because that's stuff we don't want to sell. But that was really interesting, and we went back here to sell mostly, almost nothing else. I just saw that we are almost leveled, which is really convenient. I would love to level soon because there's fights soon. That's also something we did either in the last or the episode before that. I changed the difficulty back up because I was like, I kind of want to actually fight at all. Like, I think it would be way more interesting to watch if the fights like contain some thoughts from me. But also, if you think that's bad or less relaxing, do let me know. For now, I think we should maybe actually... No, I pressed O, which by the way gives you an overview, which is really helpful for if you're trying to place your characters in a certain way. That is not what I was trying to do. I was pressing I for inventory to organize a little bit. I wanted to see if Gale has more spells he could learn. Only Tasha's hideous laughter. All of the other ones he either can't learn or already knows. That's interesting. So he knows all of these or already, or can't learn them. I like to do organization, like this is our camp supply pack, and this backpack and the heavy backpack are good for organization. So for example, if I'm like, okay, I have so many like potions or elixirs that I don't want out and about, and like toxins and stuff, I would put those, for example, into let's say the heavy backpack. This is also not relevant for us, it's a mod thing. And then we have the soul coins, which I would give Karlak because they're relevant for her. And then the person who will most likely use arrows is Astarion, so I will give that to him. And then I will give all the scrolls to Gale. And I usually do this so that I just have I use these people as backpacks and then I structure in our own backpack a little bit. So these are weapons I find interesting that I want to keep. See, this is for Karlak. I don't know if you guys remember, but when we got that ring, I said we're gonna get it for a character we get later, so that is for Karlak because I want her to be a thrower. So 1d4 bonus to throw damage. Great. Because she also has the rage that gives her a bonus to throw damage, so that's really fun. So let's continue organizing that. This is a keepsake. My brother and I also made like a pouch thing. I think it actually was probably this pouch with a spider egg sack for keepsakes, so stuff we didn't want to sell. So for example, Chimera's locket is a keepsake. We can start that tradition again. And then just like clothing, doesn't quite matter. There's a flute which we can't play, but I always like to keep at least one of each instrument. There will also soon be something that we can use for all of these books. At least I like to use it, and this is also all throwing stuff, so I would put that with Karlak because she's the thrower, as I said. These are for some reason not in our camp supply pack. They should be though. I think they're just not coded that way. There's the Idol of Selune, which could be a keepsake as well. And then there's dies that don't really have a purpose for us. But I don't know. I feel like this is already way better to organize, just so, I like to keep a little organized. In this backpack we could use for something else. We can figure out for what. But I like to do that. I don't know if it's interesting, but I like to do that. Okay, now we're kind of actually done at the Grove. Like, there's not a real reason for us to be here other than for the traders, because we have no traders anywhere else. So we could just go back to the Blighted Village until we level enough to go up there, or because I think this fight might be a bit much right now. Or, spoiler alert, there's a fight. I think I already talked about that. Or we go down here, but that's kind of uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable space. But I think Blighted Village is the place to go for sure, just to explore a little. There's so much stuff to look at. Yes, cool. And once we've used like 2 more spells, we should also go to sleep. Last time we just kind of walked through here and we didn't go into any houses. So yeah, maybe we just want to start there on the left. We haven't looked at this wooden trunk yet. Nice, that's actually really good, a supply pack. We can talk to these people. Oh, that is adorable. That is so adorable. Anyone else have anything to say about these? That's so sweet. I've never actually gotten that dialogue. I know different people respond to this game on the ground differently. Like, they all have different lines, but I've never gotten Carlax. That's really sweet. And yeah, since this is meant to be mostly relaxing and cozy, well, actually, I gotta stop saying that, because I was gonna say we shouldn't probably discuss the devastation here. But to be fair, the vibe of this playthrough is not meant to be entirely like without emotions. This game does get emotional. So we should, you know, deal with that when it is appropriate. So yeah, it's devastating here.
Missing children. Maggie Terrance, Marcus Terrance, Mathan Deach, Rochelle Kirk.
So, stuff was already apparently going bad here before the soldiers that Karlak last time said attacked did, because clearly they were already, like, something was already clearly wrong. Let's go over here. Blighted Village. This actually looks really cool. That is not nice. Ew.
Tastes like chicken. No chicken. Tastes like fish. Gentlemen, contain yourselves. This quarrel sours our feast. Besides, tastes like pork. And what surprise is this? Brothers, look here. I have eyed yet another prize. Fortune favors our bellies. Stranger, be you friend or food. The mark is her measure. Show us the brand of the absolute.
Well, we clearly don't have that, but also his name is Lump the Enlightened, which I think is beautiful. Also, Gale, what is this? What is this pose? It's reminding me of that meme. I'm not gonna say what meme. You know what? I'm just not gonna say anything about that. You're quite eloquent for an ogre.
Am I not astonishing? A robust diet makes for a shrewd mind, you see. I am a gourmand. And you, a delicacy. Unless you bear the mark, of course.
Well, I wonder if we say we don't bear such a brand, he will immediately attack. I don't want that, obviously. We're not that good at deception. Also, we'll try a thing. I want to try, and maybe if that works, because we're in the conversation, right? I want to see if we can cast guidance, because Gale has that necklace, and I would love for him to cast guidance on us. so that we are better maybe at this check, potentially. We'll see if it works. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Let's try deception. Perfect. Good enough. Wouldn't even have needed it, but it's still great. Good to have it.
Indeed. How regrettable that your meat must go unsavored. Food? Food. Not food. Friend.
Yes, friend. I notice you don't bear a brand of your own.
I've no use for the absolute, or any god. I follow two masters only, gluttony and greed. The goblins understand my appetites. They sate my hunger for gold, and the rest sate my hunger for meat. Boss goblin give gold, we check brand. Good deal. No talk.
Well, I actually do, like, I kind of get that mindset of, like, I mean, not for me, but I find it an interesting mindset that these ogres are like, I don't follow the god, but they offer me a good deal. Like, that makes sense. I've seen few other ogres in these parts.
We follow the sense of blood and gold to all lands fertile, friend. And this land proves particularly fruitful.
Sure, sure. Yeah, and this is a thing, you can get them to fight for you. I never do that.
Alas, not so much as a nibble. Food? No, not food.
I never quite do that because,
Okay, I'll catch a break.
I don't know, I don't really feel like it. I kind of don't want anything to do with them. This I always find super funny. You walk through here and the game is like, hey, there's a cracked support beam. You could get it to fall on them. I don't ever do that either, but it's very interesting.
That might be worth a look.
Yeah, this one's a problem because if we do that, they're still here and this would be stealing, so it's possible, but it takes some finessing that I'm not sure we need. I don't think there's anything in there that's super helpful. But this is interesting. What is over here? A bit of a look into a different area as well. Our guidance has worn off, that's fine. And there's Volo's Guide to Baldur's Gate. The poorly drawn map of a city is captioned in flamboyant script. What follows is the most thorough and accurate account of the city and people of Baldur's Gate, the sordid gem of the Sword Coast. An editor's note in crimson ink follows. V. This volume is startlingly accurate, save for the nonsense about the Black Dragon Gate. It is not alive, no matter how many vacant hags claim otherwise. Commission someone else to draw the map. E. So, this is Volo, and this, I'm gonna tell you, is Elminster, I'm pretty sure. Also an interesting character that we will meet soon. But this is interesting. Let's pick up that backpack for further storage. And let's pick up that book as well. Interesting. So Volo is clearly, you know, walking around. He's clearly not at the grove anymore. We will meet him soon enough. Very much soon enough. I don't need him very much in my life, but you know. There's stuff to read. Oral Histories of Faerun Paladin Oathbreakers. This book is comprised of several chapters, one for each cited source. It claims to contain first-hand transcriptions of the oral histories of several storytellers throughout the realm. Chapter 7, Valamor the Outcast. 52 years of age, human paladin, Oathbreaker. Given Valamor's reputation in Athkatla, the city she once called home, I met the former knight officer of the noble and exclusive Order of the Radiant Heart with no small amount of trepidation. She has lived as an outcast for some years now, and the rumors of her character quite preceded her. I spoke to one of the prelates of the Order, who described her as a dreadful, sadistic traitor, warning me that to find her would be suicide, that she would kill me before I could speak a single word. He was wrong. When I finally tracked her down, we spoke for hours, and I left with her blessing to share her story. I will not disclose our meeting place, as the Order punishes those who violate their vows with beheading. Of course, I regret it. Breaking an oath isn't going back on your word, it's not an ethical quandary. It wrenches out a part of your soul. Before, I could call on angels to fight alongside me. I could banish fiends back to the hells and demons to the abyss, all with a thought and a prayer. I lost my voice. I speak, but this isn't my voice. It's an echo, a whisper. Tell them this. Most days I wish I'd died rather than breaking my oath. But I'd never take back what I did, what I refused to do. Damn the Order. Service became dogma. Obedience was virtue. To question was sin. Justice and duty are uncomfortable bedfellows, and eventually they make bastards of us all. Very philosophical. About the concept of the Oathbreaker Paladin technically being more moral than, someone who doesn't break their oaths. Also, guys, there was food in these barrels. What are you doing? Let's see if there's more books in here. There is more books.
Might explain what happened here.
Oh. And The Folly and the Fall. Though clearly old, this handbill has managed to maintain its bold print over time. For one season only, see the play that sent Elturel's Everlight Theatre into chaos. The sharp-tongued traveling troupe presents The Folly and the Fall, a tragedy in 4 parts. Part 1, of Lost Netheril, that great wizarding empire and humanity's age of wonder. Part 2, of the great mage Karsus, his brief and terrible godhood, and the ruin he wrought. Part 3, of Netheril's fall, 1,000 years of shade and Shaw's subversion. Part 4, of Netheril's return and its shadow falling upon the land. Penned by the great bard Bragan Feg, The Folly and the Fall tells the true story of the flying Netherese city Thultanthar, and its dramatic return after 1,000 years in exile on Shah's plane of shadow. See the climactic battle above Myth Dranor, rendered in stunning detail thanks to the finest thaumaturges of the coast. Direct on your village green as the sharp-tongued traveling troupe makes its transit to Baldur's Gate. See it now or face 1,000 years of sorrow. Makes sense, makes sense. That is almost exactly what I just wanted to say. We should leave this place because their inane chatter do be paining me. I think there was something else. I just want to see quickly what was there. Ah, there's more books. Okay, let's quickly pick these up. And let's see if they're new. And then let's leave so they don't talk at us the entire time. I hope that wasn't too annoying. Let's see. In our inventory, what was new? The old school book, yes. So these are titles that follow each other. That's 4 and that's 7. If you don't know, Roman numerals, the V is a 5 and then 2 on the right of it means 7. And this X is a 10. Wait, actually it's not 4, it's 9. And this X is a 10 and then the 1 in front of it is a 9. So 7 and 9. Okay. So let's read The Approachable East Volume 4. I think we had The Approachable East at some point. Did we not read some of The Approachable East already? I think we did, but then who am I to say? What a land is Cormyr. Certainly the geography is dramatic, edged by mountains and sea, filled with forests and swamps. But why dwell on these when the great walls of Susail loom ahead? One sees the city's walls as one approaches, but there is no understanding them from a distance. It's only as one gets close and they loom higher and higher and higher that one appreciates the majesty of Susail. I passed through gates the size of castles to enter this magnificent city. The streets are patrolled by elite armored knights known as purple dragons and frequented by nobles in the most elegant fashions. Its port is filled with ships from across a sea of fallen stars, carrying goods from lands I only knew from legends. The docks overflow with fruit, spices, silks, and animal pelts. You will not see a finer market if you have the golden lions to spend. Also, the harming of cats is strictly forbidden. A thoroughly civilized land. That's very prettily written. And then we have 7. Lara, Lady of Deception, the goddess who wears many masks. Invoke her name, avoid perception. She hides your lies and secret tasks. For joy, to Lyra you must call, and worship her through soul-felt dance. So find her presence in fest halls. Do not give idleness a chance. Leviata's pleasure is your pain, your scars an offering. Scourge or candle, whip or cane, can your devotion bring. Leviata is interesting. We will have some interaction with that goddess. And then we have the next god book. Milil is the Lord of Song. Pray to him for inspiration. Hear his call and sing along. Let his art be your salvation. Merkel is the Lord of Death, of hopelessness and ending things. He'll come for all at their last breath, lords and peasants, crooks and kings. Mystra, goddess of all mages, she provides and tends the weave, revered by many through the ages. All magic we from her receive. Also very interesting gods in this one. Hey dude. And we found the old school book, which is probably going to be really sad. School attendance book. Oh, great, it's not written out. That's nice. A school attendance log fills the ancient pages. As the pages and days progress, more and more pupils' names vanish from the entries. In urgent script, a note in the margin states that someone has to investigate what's become of the missing children and their families. Yeah, so something is wrong here. Something is very clearly going wrong. Okay. So now, let's look at that. So this over here with the owl was apparently the school then. This was the school. And this one with the moon and the like mortar and pestle kind of vibe. Let's see. More stuff to read. And a crate. Nope, okay. Didn't think so. But you never know. Some rotten mushrooms. The Wonders of Phandalin. Interesting. In this year, 950 DR, there can hardly be a more prosperous and fortunate town than Phandalin. Phandalva's pact has brought prosperity to this land, splitting the wonders of Wave Echo Cave between gnomes and dwarves. The town now boasts thriving communities of both peoples living and working together in harmony. We have also tempted human spellweavers from all across the north to our town, who are happy to work side by side with the allies of Phandalva's pact. Mayor Alderleaf invites you to come and witness this miracle yourself. See the powers being uncovered in the forge of spells and the prosperity this power brings. I dare say Neverwinter will soon have a new rival for the title of Jewel of the North. I wonder if we've read this before. It felt familiar, but I've also played this game 8 times. So, you know, it might be that I've just read it before. I'm usually... Ooh, that's very nice. Some potions. And some shoes. And someone has a crystal ball. It's very fun. There's Lasolite, but I think that's on the other side of the wall. Is there something on the shelf? No. Oh, randomly picked up a spatula. That wasn't even on purpose. There's fire cooking here, so maybe the goblins have been making use of that coffee. Very nice. Household prayer. It's probably the same one. It is. It is the same one we already read in a different house. So it's apparently a common one. Oh, apparently we have to look at that from the outside. And there's nothing in it. We already did look at that. Did we look at this? So these are having interesting discussions. I'm not sure I'm super interested, but they're mad that their other comrades are having a better life than they are. Makes sense. Let's see here. A bunch of stuff to pick up. An antidote up there. There's really pretty bottles. I would love to have these like on a shelf. They look very pretty. But this is clearly the apothecary. Very fun. Oh, there's a mirror. I wonder what that says. Oh, we can't reach it. We're too small. That makes sense. And this Lasolite or Lasolite? I don't know. Laculite? No. Another antidote, a potion of healing, a potion of sleep, some mugwort, a cauldron.
Reeks of mugwort. Tastes
Mugwort.
terrible, but makes some useful potions.
Interesting. Dagger root. We're going to read the ledger in a moment. Dagger root. And a wine rack. That has just empty bottles. That's fine. And a basket. I hope this is interesting to watch. I know that to me this stuff is very satisfying to like look at and to explore all these different spaces. There's a wooden hatch, very interesting, more dagger root. And there's a book called Extracts, the Rule of Three. Interesting. A long-winded introduction explains that Haskin Zesilophant notes, published as is from their work journal, have helped bring alchemy to the masses. It starts with a full history on the Dragonborn who had been descaled as a teenager and started their alchemical research in hopes of restoring their hide. As the pages turn, it continues to wax poetic about how Zesilophant put aside their own research to help the common people. Much more interesting, though, are Zesilophant's actual research notes. I have decided I shall make all my notes, both those written and those still to come, available to those who wish to study. You, reading this text now, are probably one such person. As enticing as potion making is, we shall first start with the most basic alchemical rule, the Rule of Three. Most ingredients can be found throughout Faerun. However, they need to be refined to be of any use in alchemy. Doing so is simple. Just combine 3 of the same ingredients and you will obtain an extract, which can be used to brew potions, poisons, oils, and elixirs. So remember, 3 of the same ingredients make an extract, or in rhyme form if you like. When in doubt with alchemy, just recall the Rule of Three. Thrice the same ingredient forms an extract. Excellent. Great. That is also interesting because we can do alchemy and we can do filter craftable only, but the thing is that down here we can extract all ingredients, which was many of them, and that really increases how many craftables we have. So we can make greater healing potions, which is actually really good. The smaller one's less helpful, but still cool, and potions of speed are really helpful, and we can make 6 of them, which is great because of the hyena ears. And we have lots of antidotes, so we could do mind reading instead. And then there's still 2 elixirs we can make. Bloodlust is really good because it gives you an additional action. So actually we got quite a lot of really good ones. And usually this weirdly helps with how much you carry as well, because it takes up like some of this alchemical ingredient stuff in here. And now we can take these and also put them in that bag we have for organization purposes. Also, we are already pretty full again, and this in total is now quite heavy. What we can do now is start and send these to different people, because it starts being a thing that the camp supplies are really heavy. We can just send these to camp because they will be used the same amount if they're in camp, and we only ever eat in camp, so we don't need to have them with us. And then we have the apothecary's ledger. The ledger is filled with cultivation instructions for a range of medicinal plants. 1 entry is underlined. Deliver specially requested plants to the cellar. Keep away from prying eyes.
It says there's a cellar here somewhere.
I wonder where.
I don't see one.
Brother, okay. I see it. I see it very well. Okay. I think, however, that we're, I don't know, are we going to call it night? Let's click on the cellar. Oh, there's no herbs in the herb bag, apparently. Is there something in here? I'm trying to decide if we leave that for next episode and we just do the cellar next episode. It's not like we did quite a lot this episode. We basically just explored like a little bit of this town. Let's start with the cellar. Why not? It's creepy down here. Search the cellar, because clearly there's something happening with this apothecary if they have special deliveries to the cellar. That does not sound good, you know. There's a little potion of healing hidden amongst empty bottles. And a bunch of mushrooms and more mushrooms. This seems all very, you know, safe and normal apothecary stuff. Okay. And then there's a little desk area here with just a quill. Nothing interesting. Can we look at the stuff on the top of the desk? No. Not interesting. Okay. And there's nothing in here either. Nothing in these stacks of books. Not in the open crate. Well, some clothing, I guess. We can take that for some money. And then over here we have the potion of healing recipe and the healer's log. Patient Samson. Occupation blacksmith. Malady gout. Comments: Samson's become accustomed to the good life since he acquired that new apprentice. I gave him a tincture of autumn crocus and told him to avoid red meat and ale. Patient Brandley. Occupation Cooper. Malady large wood splinter in hand. Comments: splinter removed. Wound cleaned, doused in balsam ointment and bandaged. Patient Timmick. Occupation none. Child. Malady swallowed bottle cork. Comments: no hardness or blockage in stomach. The cork should pass without causing harm. I gave the lad a stern warning. Patient Dida. Occupation apprentice blacksmith. Malady minor burns to the face and hands. Comments: another burn for Samson's eager young apprentice. The usual treatment was applied, but I urged her to slow her pace at work before she inflicts real harm on herself. Interesting. And suspicious poison.
What's that?
Our girl saw a lever over there. Wrong lever. We're gonna look at that in a moment. But we have to loot everything here. Actually, maybe we'll look at that in the next episode. Maybe that's where we dramatically cut off. It is slightly scary down here, but but don't worry, I'm here. No, but it's a little scary to me too. I don't quite love cellars. Like basements, I'm not the most comfortable there. I don't like how enclosed the space is. So that's not so nice, but we'll take it. There's a potion of healing. There's a water barrel. There's a bunch of bottle racks. I don't know, I find this mode of environmental storytelling really compelling in this game. Like the way it just gives you the place. There's no one here other than some goblins. They don't know anything clearly. So you have to know yourself, you know? You have to figure it out, and I kind of like that. We also found a potion of healing recipe. This small recipe has helped me through a lot. Without my scales, my hide smarts and tears with the my hide smarts and tears with the slightest touch. There we are. While it has never healed me fully, every drop soothes. I hope it might similarly soothe whatever ails you. Someone has filled the rest of the page with repetitions of, "Why is it always healing potions, this goddamned primitive village?" and the occasional, "Someday I'll kill that mongrel of a master." Luckily, the recipe itself is still mostly legible. Recipe for 1 potion of healing, extracts needed, salts of rogue's morsel, suspension of myrgrass. Method, stir the suspension until a vortex forms. Carefully dip in the salts, keep stirring until the salts dissolve and the solution takes on a red hue. And keep in mind, when in doubt with alchemy, just recall the rule of 3, thrice the same ingredient forms an extract excellent. Interesting. So someone in here clearly did not like that people are only interested in positive, like healing magics. Now let's hit that lever. And there's more to the basement. And I think that's where I'm gonna cut this episode. Slightly creepy position. We're gonna get somewhere more comfortable soon. But for now, it's going to be a little bit creepy. Hope you enjoyed it anyway. And I hope you had a good time. If you did, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. And comment to discuss with me the creepiness of this basement. And yeah, hope whatever you do next, it goes super, 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 super well. And if that is sleeping, sleep well. Sweet dreams. And good night.